हैं आप सब। जल्दी से लाइव स्ट्रीम ज्वाइन कर लीजिए आप लोग, कोई भी। जो है कि कौन ज्वाइन हुआ है? Culpable homicide, section 101 of the homicide is murder if intention to cause death, intention to cause such bodily injury as offender knows likely to cause death. See, if the act by which death is to cause bodily injury person and the bodily it is immune dangerous that it must in all differences between section 100 and 101. Section 100 uh, define culpable homicide and section 101 injury likely to cause that likely to cause death. Knowledge that such act will likely to cause death. Knowledge that such act will likely to cause death. Knowledge and intention. Knowledge that it is so immunity dangerous that it must in all probability intention Age of such danger known to be likely to cause death of the person to whom it caused. Truth regarding freedom of speech, etc. Liberty, personal liberty is the most important of all fundamental rights. Article 19. These are considered as the backbone of fundamental right. Article 19 is the part of the fundamental right which is mentioned in the part 3rd of the Constitution of India. Of the Indian Constitution, Article 19 of the Constitution guarantees to the citizen of India the following six fundamental freedoms. Article 9A, 9 sub freedom of speech. Article 9, Clause 1, Subclause A, freedom of speech, and article is to an individual so they can through any of the medium verbal communication, written communication, electronic communication. Freedom of assemble peacefully. Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause B. Under this article, protest. Under this article, right to hold eating protests. Third is freedom of speech and expression cost. It's freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause B. Third is freedom to form association, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause C. Fourth is freedom to freely freedom to form association. It includes forming trade union, political party, freedom to territory of India, right to travel anywhere in the country without restrictions, right to choose of place of any business, trade, occupation. Accomplished hand over Mother's bailiff who had over मम्मी को फोन लगा दो और तुझे वो कहीं हम तुझे नहीं है कौन बोला नहीं आएगी 6 10 मिनट से क्लोज कर दे बेटा ये बच्चे पूरा टाइम मेरे से बस या तो टाइम पूछेंगे या तो कॉल करेंगे अपनी मम्मी को दीदी मम्मी को कॉल कर दीजिए दीदी टाइम कितना हुआ है मैं बोल रही थी क्या मैं बोल रही थी कितने बजे आ रही हो 10 बजे हम्म, सीरम बर्बाद कर दिया ओके Data over belly who received who hand over the goods and belly who received the goods essential elements of bailment there must be two party there must be movable thing there must be a specific purpose maybe expressly or impliedly possession is temporary kind of bailment gratuitous bailment without consideration non-gratuitous active bailment fee tort defense rule of strict liability Reline versus Fletcher Reline versus Fletcher 1868 strict liability judgment held for all the damages. The true rule of law is that the person who, for his own purposes, brings on his land and collects and keeps there anything likely to do mischief, it is escapes must keep it in at its peril, and if he does not do so, it's prima facie प्रथम दृश्य prima facie means होता है प्रथम दृश्य prima facie answerable for all the damage which is the natural का सही नियम यह है कि व्यक्ति अपने प्रयोजन के लिए भूमि पर कोई ऐसी वस्तु लाता है या एकत्र करता है या रखता है जिसके वहां से पलायन कर जाने पर दूसरे को हानि पहुंचने की संभावना हो तो वह अपनी वस्तु को अपने उत्तरदायित्व पर रखता है और यदि वह ऐसा नहीं करता है तो प्रथम दृष्टया ही उस समस्त हानि के लिए उत्तरदायी उसे समस्त हानि के लिए उत्तरदायी वह समस्त हानि के लिए उत्तरदायी होगा जो उस वस्तु के पलायन का स्वाभाविक परिणाम होती है essential of non-natural dangerous accumulate escape damage Sangeeta 2003, Final 101 of the Bharatiya न्याय संहिता 2023. Versus Govinda 1876 ILR bomb 342 Melville J. A person named Govinda, age of 18 years old, kicked his wife, 15 years old, and struck her several times with his fist on the back. This blow seemed to have caused her, however, fear on the ground. Then accused put on one no on her chest and struck her 2 or 3 times on her face. Judgment. The session judge and the sessions found the prisoner guilty of murder, sentenced him to death. The case was sent up to High Court of the Bombay for the confirmation of the death sentence. The difference of opinion between the judges of the High Court, the case was referred to the third judge, third judge named Melville Justice. Justice Melville found them and held the prisoner guilty for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Exception of 100 grave and sudden provocation गंभीर और अचानक प्रकोपन केएम नानावती वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र 1959 जिस पे एक मूवी बनी है पुरु- पुरुषोत्तम इस बार हाँ अक्षय कुमार की पुरुषोत्तम मूवी वो केएम नानावती वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र पे ही रुस्तम मूवी बनी हुई थी केएम नानावती वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र 1959 Salvia his wife Ram Malani governor Ram Malani Constitution Article 19 under the Constitution of India Article 19 of the Indian Constitution forms democratic structure by ensuring individual freedom and freedom related to society. Article 19 encourages diversity of thoughts. This article empowers citizens to actively participate in the democratic setup. This article also provides accountability and transparency in governance. However, these rights are not absolute rights and they are subject to reasonable. The act freedom does not infringe rights of others and are not against public order and integrity. Marriage and respect. 1954 what's partition person entitled to partition legitimates contract law rights and duties of bail. Section 152 rights of indemnity for the negligence of bailey. Section 153 termination of bailment at the inconsistent use. 154 compensation of bailment at the unauthorized use. Section 1555 will 156 consent which may be separated. Section 159 right to get goods back before time bailment. Section 160 right to get goods back. 3 right to get increase of profit. Escape of things from defendant land. Stranger or third party come. Statutory MC Mehta Worship Union of India. MC Mehta Worship Union of India absolute liabilities India Section 101 murder. Exception 1 grievance and provocation K. Nanavati versus Maharashtra Union. State of Maharashtra 1959. Exception 2 exceed of remediation. Exception 3 public servant of aid to public servant. Exception 4 heat of the person sudden fight sudden quarrel. Exception 5 death by consent euthanasia. इच्छा मृत्यु euthanasia death of by consent not applicable in India but अभी applicable हो गया है. Passive euthanasia related case Aruna Sangwan versus Union of India. First exception grievance and provocation. Exception to exceed or private defense not illegal remediation. Exception 3 public servant or person who aid to public servant. Exception 4 heat of the person sudden fight sudden quarrel. Exception 5 death by consent euthanasia not applicable in India. Sorry. Active euthanasia That's why I can say Commission. As you active Commission. As you active as passive Commission. Freedom of speech and expression, Article 19, Subclause A. In Rotary has observed that all democratic organizations for without free political discussion, no public education essential for the proper functioning of the process of government is possible. Meaning and scope. Freedom of speech means the right to express one's conviction and opinion freely in writing, printing, verbal expression, gesture, and sign. This article says that all citizens shall to freedom of speech and expression, but freedom of speech and expression, but this right is subject to limitation which empowers the state to put reasonable restrictions. Article 19.1, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A. Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause B. Article 19.1b guarantees to all citizens of India right to assemble peacefully without the right of assembly is implied in the democratic government. Freedom to form association, Article 19.1, Subclause C. Article 19.1, Subclause C of the Constitution of the India guarantees to all citizens the right to form association. Cooperative society, it also includes the right to form societies, trade union, and political parties guarantees to citizens of India the right to move freely within the territory of India. The Constitution the right to go and where to go, right to any the right to go without any restriction, ground of restrictions. Article 9 imposed reasonable restriction on movement of citizens under the grounds in the interest of general. Second, for the protection of the interest of scheduled tribes, freedom of residence, freedom of residence, freedom of residence. Article 19(1)(e). Under this article, every citizen of India has the right to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. Freedom of occupation, profession. This article guarantees that all the citizens of India shall have right to practice any profession, occupation, person entitled to receive share of partition, son, grandson, great grandson. Division of share. There are two types of division of shares not applicable in Hindu religion: per capita, per stripe, per capita, per stripe. B2, B1, B2, that the C1, C2, C3, C4, C applicable in Hindu religion. Duties of bearer to disclose all the facts related to goods, section 150. To pay expenses, section 158. Pay extension and value to voluntary non-fit injury. Voluntary non-fit injury of God and mistake statute exercise of common rights acts. Was consisted to is not an injury. Consent must be free. Act must be lawful. Magazine is voluntary and not scientific. Injury. Magazine voluntary versus intentions to dance teacher and student is exponential closely related to teacher that the student acting must be lawful. The Smith versus Baker 1990 exception rescue cases under the unfair contract of 1977 not applicable in India. Rescue related case law Hainesh versus Hardwood 1935. Okay guys, bye bye. गुड नाइट. अभी आज कोई लाइव बस एक किसी ने ज्वाइन किया था. अभी मैं खाना खा के आके फिर पढ़ूंगी। बाय बाय।